you one thing, if a little green man pops out of me, I'm shooting first and asking questions later.
You are on the verge of destroying the entire universe.
Welcome to the Strange Podcast with Sam and Logan.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to The Strange Podcast. This is episode 39, and I'm Logan Marks.
And I'm Sam Baxter. Today's July 21st, 2018. So how's things going with you, man?
Oh, they're doing all right.
How's your car after your ordeal last week? Did you fix it up?
No, man, it ended up costing like $3,000 to fix that thing.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Did
so
you fix it up?
No, I'm not going to pay $3,000.
Oh, come on, man. Let them keep siphoning money out of you. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
So you didn't fix it up, huh?
No, I ended up just getting a new car. So
just getting that Porsche you were looking at.
Got that Porsche. So
The 911.
Yeah, the 911 Porsche.
Yeah. Shit,
so now
man.
I'm riding around in style. No more minivan for this guy.
No, you upgraded to a Porsche. It's not even a middle. There's not even in between. It's fucking minivan, straight Porsche.
Yep, straight Porsche, midlife crisis.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is right there. So you fixed it up, huh? I mean, you got a new car?
Yeah, so I just bought a new one. So, yeah, ordeal finished.
Anything going on with work?
Oh, man. We had this guy come in. What we do is usually like a startup. So, like, if you buy the chainsaw, we start it up. You know, we make sure it's working. We give you kind of a spiel about, you know, what you should use to work at, you know, the right oils, proper gas to put in it.
Oh, so they know exactly how to use it.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes and we usually we unlock it and we tell go ahead to the helpful hub back there and somebody will educate you on that. So he goes off and he goes kind of walking towards the helpful hub and then he decides to start walking towards the door. He goes and one of the guys sees him walking out and he goes out he goes out the doors with it. And they're like, what the hell's going on? So they start going after him and he sees that he's getting chased and he jumps in his car.
He saw the chainsaw going?
Yeah, and he was like, he knew he was doing this because when he took off, they looked and they see the back of his license plate. He had duct taped it.
Oh shit!
So
this guy was ready.
He was ready to go. So
shit.
so two of the guys go and they go chase him down the roads. They're following him all over, but he just hauled ass out because they got in the car and followed him.
Okay.
So they weren't able to catch up to him.
Okay.
It ended up like his friend had bought something.
Okay.
So they kind of had an idea who it was because they knew because it's a small town.
Yeah.
You know, and their friend had bought something and he uses the store card.
Okay.
So his name was on there. So
so incognito, this guy.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, they also like they have cameras there, so they took the camera shots and they posted them on Facebook. And lo and behold, a couple hours later, you had all these people turning him in, and the one who really turned him in, who was really going after him, was his wife.
His wife?
His wife turned him in.
Do you mean his ex-wife?
No, it was his wife turned him in.
The love of his life, his better half.
Yeah, she's like, if you want to pick up that chainsaw, you just come down, and she gave her address. It's like, that piece of shit stole the chainsaw.
Man.
Brought it home.
She ratted him out.
I was like, man, the guy must be a dick if his wife turns him in.
Oh, shit. She's like, somebody please arrest his asshole. Please send him away.
I know.
I want the house to myself. Oh, shit. So they would, I'm sure they sent the cops down and did you guys go down?
No, the cops went down there. They had it was a big ordeal, but it was pretty funny. Not the fact that he stole it, but the fact that his wife turned him in.
His wife turned him in. Oh my gosh. That's why I was saying his ex-wife, like, you know, like, what if it was his ex and she knows who he is and like, fuck that, you know?
I think she's about to be an ex-wife.
Yeah, no shit. Damn. Oh,
she's probably like right on the verge of jumping off that cliff.
Jeez. Yeah, he doesn't sound like he treats her too well. If she's fucking turning him in first chance he gets. I know that asshole.
I know that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You come pick up his shit right over here.
Yeah. Fuck.
How about you? What you been doing?
You know, I had to work a lot this week. This week was a lot of overtime. It wasn't really the best because I was so busy. But I did get to try out some Japanese spaghetti this weekend on Friday.
Japanese spaghetti?
Yeah, man, I never heard of that, but we went down to the Chinatown in our city, and we went down there and we had some Japanese spaghetti, and it was pretty good. I've never had that before, so.
So is it like with the tomato sauce and all that?
Well, you know what? There is one. There is a meat sauce one, and there's also one like with kimchi, like the sauce of kimchi. There's another one though with it was like fried rice with kimchi. I mean, they had like a different type. They have like eggs and mushroom and chicken. They had different types of sauces. It just wasn't like normal like Italian type spaghetti. But it was actually pretty good. And I actually did try the meat sauce one they had there, and surprisingly, it was really good. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been to some places where, there's supposed to be Italian restaurants. You get the spaghetti and meatballs, just get something really basic and really simple, and it tastes like Chef Boyardee, And it's like, I could have just paid for that. I could have just got a can at home.
He's got like a 99-cent can.
Yeah, instead of paying, fucking $15 for this meal. And then you got to do a tip that's like $19-20. So, yeah, it was actually pretty good. The meat on it was really good. It all tasted. I was delightfully happy with it. It was pleasant. It was a good meal, and it was good to end up the week that way with having a good meal.
It sounds like it's just regular spaghetti, but it's made by a Japanese person.
Yeah, I know. Made in China. No.
Made in China. I know.
The noodles were a little bit different. They were like, I'm not gonna say they were fried, but they were. They didn't taste like regular spaghetti noodles, like how they're really soft. These were a little bit more tough, which I don't usually like my noodles tougher, but I don't know how they did it, but it tasted pretty good. And one of the guys with us is Japanese. He's from Japan, and he was like, "Man, this is actually a really nice meal." Like he said, it must have been the way they do it at home.
Oh, he's like, just like a mama used to make.
Yeah, I know. My Italian mama. Yeah. I know. He's all full Japanese, but yet somehow he's got Italian.
He's like an Italian accent.
Yeah. He's got Italian roots somehow. Like, have you ever been in Italy? Nope. No.
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it was actually, like I said, it was in the Chinatown of our city, and it was pretty authentic. The Chinatown meals I've had in the past have always been pretty good. So it's a little bit less Americanized, the meals. So if you can handle that, if you're not afraid of some of the meals like that, I've had duck and I've had some good beef there, and it's pretty good. And these are the places, where they have the chickens, the ducks just hanging in the window cooked.
It's authentic then. Huh?
Yeah, it's more like that. And you're kind of like, fuck, do I really want to eat that fucking thing that's been sitting there and it's got its head on it? Do you remember, what was that called? That Christmas Story? Remember that? When they cut the head off right there? Do you remember that goose?
Yeah, because the
Christmas
dogs
goose
ate the turkey.
Yeah, they had to go get Chinese. Remember the Christmas goose?
Yeah.
They all cut off the head right there. That's what it's like. It's good though, man. I like it. I can appreciate some good hard work going into the food. It tasted good, so.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, the week was long. I worked a lot of hours, and that was a nice ending to the week. Getting a meal like that at a place that's pretty. I'm not gonna say it's authentic, but the Japanese man that I was with said it was really good. So
Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi. I know. Yeah, the Italian Luigi. Yeah, he's.
All right, so he's probably get going into the story. So
all right.
When we get back, we'll be doing strange news.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll see when we get there.
It's time for strange news.
All right, so let's get some weird, strange news. So I got this first one, man. I saw this, and I gotta admit, this was a little stupid. so this man
that fits the strange news.
Yeah, I know. So this man got arrested after fighting his own reflection. So 23-year-old Joshua Job Browsey of Northland Street was found leaning against the door. He was also seen punching the glass window as officers approached him. So he admitted to them that he was drinking earlier. And he showed, a lot of signs of being intoxicated. He was pretty fucked up. But they asked him, why are you hitting the window? why the fuck are you punching the window? And he said, because another male was hitting him back.
So the window was attacking him?
Yeah, the window was attacking him. So he was fighting it off.
Well, fuck you, man. If it's going to start some shit, you might as well, you have to fight back.
Yeah, so the man he was punching, the reflection of the man was punching him back. So he kept punching because the guy kept punching back too. So,
I don't take shit from nobody, especially myself.
Yeah. So they asked him, hey man, are you doing this because you're really drunk? And he's like, yeah, I am.
Yes.
So they arrested his ass and they hauled him off to the tank. So I thought that was a little bit weird, but you know what, guy? I hope you won.
I hope you won. Yeah.
So what do you got?
So you were younger, and when you go to the bars, and you ever notice that you go to the bars and you start drinking a little bit, and then the women start looking a little better.
Yeah, you always get those what are they called, beer goggles?
Yeah, the beer goggles. Yeah,
the chicks just look better. The more I drank, the way they look better.
So they actually spent money on this. A Pittsburgh study finds that beer goggles are a real thing.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, so
millions of men over the last 30 years couldn't have attested to that. That wasn't real enough.
I know. I could have gave a couple of analysis for me.
Yeah,
so
man.
A new analysis from the University of Pittsburgh found that a link between alcohol and perceived physical attraction, in other words, beer goggles, is a real thing.
Oh my god! What a fucking science breakthrough! Fuck, it's like split the atom.
Don't cure cancer.
Yeah.
Find out if the beer goggles are real.
Find out if the beer really makes the women look hotter.
Researchers looked at the data from some 1,800 people collecting from 16 previous studies. Participants rated an attractiveness of people in photographs. About half were drinking and the other half were sober. The intoxicated group gave modestly higher scores.
Oh my gosh.
The reason for this link is unknown. The study did not attempt to determine how alcohol affects the brain to make people appear more good looking, but there's a good chance the findings were related to human bonding.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Just throw more money, government. Throw more money at this. We got to find out that last answer.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know. We need to find out.
I gotta know.
That's going to save humanity there.
Fuck,
so
man.
Previous research shows that humans prefer to be around attractive people. A pretty face stimulates our brain reward center. Studies have also found that alcohol helps people form connections with strangers. So the Pittsburgh psychologist Michael Slayton, the paper's senior author, specializes in substance abuse. He says his newly discovered link might have evolved to facilitate socialization. So it suggests yet another way in which we bond to experience them in a more attractive fashion physically, he says.
So basically, they just found out what we already knew. Fucking people that look better get better jobs, get more pay, have more sex, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. So
and now they know because of beer butt goggles as well. That helped out. Fuck, man. We're really spending our money wisely, aren't we?
So
tax dollars hard at work.
Yeah, so I hope they invest more money in this. We can find out.
Yeah, man. Just fucking blank check, government. Send a blank check to these people. Fucking let them just keep investing. Oh, God.
I always wondered why. I mean, well, I can understand because you're drinking more. It kind of drops your ambition.
Exactly. It stimulates you and alters you.
Yeah, things you wouldn't consider before. You'd be like, you might do that. That sounds alright.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Well, I got this other story. So, it's been hot out. People get a little foul, especially in confined places. But in Vienna's metro hands out 14,000 deodorants to passengers because they stink. So
Christmas.
So I guess going to London's Central Line during the heat wave right now, heading to Vienna. I guess it's pretty hot and it's pretty crowded, and I guess what they've been doing there, like in the past, they like in 2016 they passed out waters because it was really hot, right? And so people were kind of getting a little what's it called?
Like dehydrated.
Yeah, dehydrated and stuff. And so they were passing out waters, complimentary waters, and it helped out. People were receptive to it, and it was good. So now they're handing out because people were just stinking up the fucking place. You're like sardines, right? You're in in a little fucking confined space, and everyone's starting to stink, and you're sweaty and everything. So they're actually passing out deodorants. They passed out 14,000 deodorants, and everybody was like, took them like was happily. Like everyone was like, yeah, this is great. I mean, it's something you can't really have. You can't really control.
Well, no, I mean, there's people that don't fucking wear it.
I know, and there's people that need it,
and they need it. Yeah,
and they won't wear it.
There's a couple people you might just want. I would consider just giving them as a gift, like here.
Yeah,
you should put this on.
Yeah, I'll be glad to buy you every stick every month. I'll buy you another stick. Yeah, so I guess the people there felt like there might have been they noticed a lot of foulness and stinkiness, so they handed them out and everybody took them. Nobody was offended, and everyone took them and they used them, and I guess it made things a little bit better. So that's smart. To me, that's kudos to them. Hey, you hand out water one year on a heat wave. Yeah, it helped. People were stinking out. You hand out deodorant. Who knows what they'll hand out next time? Fucking maybe cocaine. I don't know. get them through the heat wave.
Tampons and condoms.
Yeah, I know. You guys go.
Enjoy. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
So I got a West Jordan man is facing charges after fleeing from the police on a stolen motorcycle during a traffic stop for what police said was a simple traffic violation. So the West Jordan police said they made a stop around 8 o'clock Saturday night near the 7000 S Redwood Road. The motorcyclist quickly took off, so he bolted out. So, however, the police decided not to follow the man because they recognized him. They knew who he was. So instead of going after and chasing him,
just go to his house.
The officers they went to his house and they just waited for him. So they sat there. They said they sat there for about an hour after they waited. The guy shows up at his house and was taken into custody without it.
What is this guy, like the mayor? Everybody knows him? What the hell?
I don't know. It must be like the local drug everyone knows. Shit. Is a piece of crap. So like the police later found out that the motorcycle had been stolen, which they suspected. The bike was found crashed nearby, so he didn't even make it to the house with the motorcycle.
Fucking collateral damage.
So he basically crashed it later and then walked home, and that's how they got him. So the guy was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, failure to stop at the commands of an officer, and violation of parole or probation.
Shit, fucking guy, man. You're out. Just try and stay out.
I wish that would happen to more, because you would see those crazy police chases. I don't know why they chase them. I mean, they should just kind of like. I always thought they should just take a helicopter and follow them around a little bit, because eventually they're gonna, they're gonna stop somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, in the cities, I see that, right? But how about for other people that are like on highways and out in the country? I mean, do they just give up and just let them go? Because I mean, you're not gonna get a chopper out there.
No, that's true. But I don't know. It seems like it causes more harm.
I know. I know. You can. There can be bystanders that get hurt and stuff like that, or cause more wrecks or anything like that. I know. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. But at least this guy, man. At least they knew who he was, and fucking guy.
You think the guy? Well, because if they knew who he was, he probably knew who they were.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know why you would just take off. You're gonna get fucked.
He obviously wasn't anonymous. So. Well, that's pretty strange. But this one right here is kind of strange too. So a lot of people are religious and they go to church, and they're, not everybody can go to church every week. So these members here in this Kentucky Baptist church got pissed off because their pastor sent them letters saying they've been kicked out of the church for failure to attend and contribute. So 70 longtime members of the Cave City Baptist Church received this letter that the Reverend sent out. It was shared on Facebook, and under the church's bylaws, I didn't know there was bylaws in a church, but it says members are expected, first of all, to be faithful in all their duties essential to Christian life, and also to attend habitually the services of his church and give regularly to his support as it causes to share in its organized work. So basically, obviously, they didn't go every week and give money. So it sounds like that's why they got booted. Like, hey, these guys are dead weight. I can't get any more money out of them. Fucking kick them out.
That sounds like a religious thing to do.
I know. I mean,
That's
instead of you know, and letting people keep coming in whenever, you're fucking out. You know, you're out of the gang.
Because I think that's what Jesus says. Like, you got to pay or get the fuck out.
Yeah, I know. I know, pay me. Fuck off. You know. I need money every week. I'm Jesus.
I'm Jesus. I'm Jesus. Where's my money, bitch?
I know. Give me money. So yeah, man.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, these guys kicked him out, man. He just kicked him out.
Like, is there only certain people in his congregation? Like, you have to have like a certain amount of money that you make, or like, I mean, how do you like? What if you're like a poor person and you can't afford, to give money, for a couple months, or
I don't know,
lose your job or whatever?
I don't know.
Kind of messed up.
Maybe they would help you get a job so you can contribute. I don't know. I don't know, right? It would be in their interest to make sure you have a job so you can give them money.
I know, right? You think so,
right? I don't know. I guess these people just weren't showing up enough, and either they weren't showing up enough or they weren't giving enough. It doesn't say, but they were doing one of the two. So he just like, you're out. Fuck you guys. You know, God doesn't want fucking poor people.
That just doesn't seem very, very,
very religious, very godlike,
very godly. But
yeah. Most
churches aren't.
Nope.
It's usually about the money or power.
Yeah, and I have neither, so they're not gonna get it from me. They're not gonna get it.
It's like you gotta start a cult or a religion. That's why.
Yeah.
So you get that money.
No thanks. I just told you I worked a lot this week, and I'll get my money for my job.
I'll spend on my goddamn self.
Yeah, no shit.
So I got a story here, from people at the beach on the 4th of July flagged down a St. Lucie County sheriff deputy. The deputy was told that a man, later identified as Matthews, age 41, was being aggressive towards another man and trying to fight. So Matthews said he was confronted by the other man on the beach because he had ruined his chicken that was on his grill.
What?
So basically, he says the guy came. I guess he was grilling some chicken, and the guy must have tripped on his grill or did something, but he ruined his chicken. So, but Matthews, he was basically pretty much intoxicated, and after the guy accidentally dropped his chicken, he went and he wanted to start a fight with this dude. With the other guy.
Yeah.
So witnesses say that Matthews was swinging a metal boat anchor around in the air and cursing loudly towards other individuals on the beach. So he got mad at everybody. Took a boat
I'll
anchor.
Fight you all.
He took a boat anchor and started swinging it around on the rope.
Man.
Trying to hit everybody. So that's when the cops were called. And cops called to go there. They found that he was drunk, and Matthew said he had only 2 shots of Malibu rum, so he wasn't that drunk. So they said when the cops got there and they started, investigating him, he said that Matthew started crying and said he did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong. I was just gonna kill people with this anchor, but
I was just swinging this anchor.
That's normal. That shit's normal.
I guess if he was Popeye, I can understand, but I mean,
yeah, falling off fucking Pluto. Yeah, I get that.
Falling off Pluto for
for olive oil.
For olive oil.
Oh, Popeye. Yeah, but nope. This guy sounds like a jackass. I got another one that's kind of weird. So, this is in Japan. And so, a man dead after getting compressed air shot up his butt by a coworker who said it was a prank.
What?
Yeah, so this happened July 13th. Happened about a week ago. So, at a construction machinery manufacturing plant in Ryugasaki City, these 2 guys are working at a plant. 34-year-old and a 46-year-old. The 46-year-old thought it would be fun if he would aim the air gun, on up his ass off of Hold on. The 34-year-old thought it would be fun to point the air gun up the 46-year-old's ass. He must have been bending over, and he put the fucking gun up to his ass, and he blew the air into it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he blew high pressurized air into his ass. So not long after that, the guy, he's like, "Oh man, I don't feel so well," so he's taken to the hospital.
Oh, he started bleeding internally.
Yeah, and he died.
Oh crap!
Yeah, so he died, and it went through, it was not like he was bare, it went through his pants, but it's not like the pants are super thick, but They suspect that that's what caused it. Like it got into the air, got up into his lungs, and which caused the death. So he was So the guy was arrested. They think that his lungs got injured, and so the guy was arrested on suspicion of committing manslaughter.
They charged him for manslaughter?
Yeah, and he admitted to it. He's like, "Look, man, I did this."
He probably felt like shit.
Yeah, he says. I mean, he says he felt bad. Like, oh my god, he told them that he did it, and it was a prank. And they're I think they're gonna charge him suspicion, maybe manslaughter. And he said, "Look, it was a prank. I didn't mean to fucking kill this guy. I was just gonna shoot up his ass. Kind of like you mess around with your buddies. You do things, stuff like that. And this guy, I mean, if I'm pretty sure he didn't know that I was gonna kill him, and that would be horrible, man.
Oh man, I'd feel fucking awful. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and you try to do it as a joke, and it goes that way. You would feel like the worst, and then on top of that, you might go to prison.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he fucking killed that dude. That dude died because of him.
Exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. Just a little Pike thought it would be funny, innocent, and that's how usually a lot of bad things happen, right? You think it's gonna be funny and cool, and ends up something goes awry really fast, or really and you're like, oh man. And then now you're like, and what are you gonna tell the cops? I'm sorry, it was just a joke.
I was just playing with him. I was just playing with another man's ass.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it'd be fun. What shooting your own ass?
I thought it'd be all
asshole?
fun and games.
Yeah. What do you think happened when the air goes up your ass? It fucking comes out like a fart. You shouldn't be doing this.
That's weird that it got into his lungs, though. I didn't think it would.
Yeah, they think it went up that far that it damaged him.
Oh wow. Well, I guess if it's like highly compressed,
yeah. Yeah, highly compressed air just got him. Just went up his anus. Yeah, no good, man.
That's a sad story.
Yeah. Sorry, do you have any other ones that might end on a good note?
Well, I have something here. Maybe that guy had a better job. So, what would you do if I told you that you can have a job where you just can sleep?
I could just sleep and get paid for it?
You get paid for it, yeah.
Oh God, I might quit my job now for that. What do you got, man?
So, a mattress firm is looking for interns. The National Mattress Company said last week it's hiring what is called a Snoozeturn to help for its social media team tease product launches and assist customers in selecting the ideal bed. So the intern, who will be based in the mattress firm's headquarters in Houston, will be responsible for testing beds, creating written and video reviews of the store on the store's website, and offering sleeping tips on Facebook live stream, and generating videos and highlight Houston's residents' sleeping habits. So they basically just get on there. You can sleep, but you got to write your experiences and stuff, and kind of recommend things for people, which on social media. Mm-hmm. So they said, we're excited to hire our first ever Snoozeturn, said Chief Marketing Officer Scott Thyla.
You just sleep really serious, huh?
Yeah, man. That sounds like a great job.
Yeah, man. You get paid to sleep? Do you get to sleep like 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day? Like what?
Well,
what do you think?
Well, the job, it's a part-time job. You have to be 18 years or older.
Check.
And you got to be proficient in napping.
Oh, fucking! I won't be an intern. I'll be a journeyman. Shit.
But you got to be able to nap at any time of the day.
That's me. I'll take a nap right now. Damn it.
Well, shit, you should get going online and apply.
Dang, man! I wonder how good they pay them.
It doesn't say the wage on here.
Mm-hmm.
Just that you have to be over 18. But man,
hey man, it's a part-time job.
Part time, yeah. Hell, I sleep on my time off. So
yeah, jeez. If they want me to tell, if they want me to tell people how good it felt to sleep, I'll tell them. I have no problem. Should you buy this bed? Yes, I slept in it. Every bed I slept in is good. buy either one of these.
Yeah. So just all you have to do is sleep, and then pretty much comment on how great it was, or recommend stuff on social media.
That's not bad. It's like being a game tester. It's the same type of shit.
Do. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you just gotta do that. You just gotta be able to write, legibly, and be able to. But this is even better. Paragraph. Playing games is good, but sleeping, shit.
Oh man,
can you imagine that, getting paid to sleep?
Yeah, I wish that'd be the dream job.
The dream job. Oh man. All right, well I think that's it, huh?
Yeah, that's what we got for this week. So we're gonna go into the main topic, which I call social media, the digital monster. So when we come back, we'll be talking about Facebook and other social apps, and see how they're affecting our lives. So we're back, and we're going to talk about social media, and pretty much, I used to have a Facebook page, and I kind of quit it because I didn't really enjoy it anymore. It wasn't as good as when it first started. Did you ever have a Facebook page?
I did. I actually started out way back when it did. I was already off MySpace back then. I didn't really care for MySpace. It was too much loading time and too many things that just bogged down the page, and I just didn't like it.
People had some crazy shit on.
Yeah, I didn't like it. And then anytime you want to chat, like, you had to install apps, and I'm not somebody who likes doing that. So yeah, I had Facebook at the beginning, and same as you, I don't have it anymore. But
so on February 4th, 2004, Facebook was founded by Mark Zuckerberg and his college roommate Gerardo Severin. Yeah, Severin. Since its inception, it's pretty much woven itself into the fabric of our society. Before, we would cringe at the idea of people looking into our lives and knowing our personal aspects of our world, but now we seem to freely give it up we've given up our privacy.
Yep, we have.
So we've traded our souls basically for likes and shares, and it carries nothing in value.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so
seeing those pictures of wine, people drinking wine, and seeing what they made for dinner.
Yeah,
oh god, that just kills me when I don't get to know what people
eat.
Yeah, or drink.
So like I said, So like I said, in the beginning, it was fun. It started out to be fun. You met new people. I liked it. Like MySpace. I connected with
it was new.
Stuff.
It was new.
And you found there's old friends that I from high school that I hadn't seen in a long time. So it was kind of nice seeing that. And we'd share. I could share ideas with people that I didn't know before. You can get in groups.
That was good. A lot of that was good. The intention was good.
Yeah, when it started out, I thought it was pretty good. So it was almost like instant gratification. You could connect with anyone, anywhere, just with a click of a mouse. But because of its allure, it grew from connecting a few college kids to like a worldwide phenomenon. So it got to the point on May 18th, 2012, the social networking company held its initial public offering, becoming a publicly traded company. So, and the IPO was the biggest in technology and one of the biggest in internet history. So it's pretty much taken over the world and taken over most of our lives now. Because you don't know, because everywhere you go, everybody knows Facebook. They know what social media is. The dangers of social media, though. Orson Welles predicted that we would be in a society where government would control our history, our day-to-day operations, and even almost try to control our thoughts.
Okay.
Just like in the book, like 1984.
Yeah, that's a good book.
So, like when I read that book, and I kind of think of the way our lives are now, it's
unfolded.
It's kind of like it seems like unfolded, but the crazy thing, the little did we know that we'd be willing to give up this stuff for likes. Like we willingly gave up our privacy and stuff for nothing but attention.
Yep.
So, in an interview with Sean Parker, he was an early investor in Facebook, and he was one of the first presidents. He described himself as a conscientious objector to social media. He has regrets of his role in the direction Facebook has taken, because when he was there, they wanted to create something that would consume people's time, and keep their attention all the time. They wanted to make it addicting, giving the users a hit of like dopamine when they shared a photo or they shared a post. What they did was produce a social validation feedback loop. So you wouldn't feel good unless you liked something or you would contribute to it. And when you get likes, you would get this dopamine, and you'd feel good about yourself, like you're like you needed this. You need this to make yourself feel better, and and what it does is it exploits the vulnerability of human psychology. So that's people feed on that kind of stuff.
Sure.
One kind of scary thing that has happened because of social media. There's a girl, Nicole Lovell, who was 13 years old. She was from Blacksburg, Virginia. She had started chatting up with some boys on a social media site, and when she was doing this, she had been doing this for months. she had then been doing it. She had become so obsessed with it that it was to the point where her parents took her phone away, and they kept it away from her for a little bit, and she eventually got her phone back, and she proceeded to chat with and have conversations with these boys, and while doing that, it became more sexual in nature. She would seek out, she would sneak out of her house and was getting in trouble constantly until January 30th, 2016. Lavelle was found dead on the side of the road, about 100 miles away from her house.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so three days later, after she had she had disappeared in the middle of the night. So when the police investigated, they linked her messages to an 18-year-old Virginia Tech freshman, David Eisenhower. And police believe Eisenhower was a collegiate athlete who was engaged in an inappropriate relationship with Lavelle. So Eisenhower and a 19-year-old friend, Natalie Keepers, concocted a plan to lure Lavelle out of her house and murder her to prevent her from speaking about the relationship. He must have feared it, like I guess he did this because he feared like a statutory rape charge. And thought that if you got rid of her, then he can get that off of get that out of the way. So
sure.
She wouldn't be able to talk. So Lavelle's father believes that social media played a part in his daughter's death. He says, without those apps, my daughter would have never been able to socialize with her killer.
Mm-hmm.
She was, she'd still be here today. So those are kind of things that happen on social media, that we never had to really deal with before until that stuff kind of happened. I mean,
yeah,
because you can have anybody come and any kind of stranger.
Anybody can catfish and act like they're somebody else.
Yeah.
For all he did, he could have told her he was like 15 years old, and he was only 18. He could have probably maybe passed for it, and I mean, it's not cool.
There was another former Facebook executive named I'm gonna tear up this name.
Do it.
Chamath Palathapatati.
Sounds like a common American name.
It's a big long name. I'm not gonna even try. He was a vice president for user growth at Facebook in 2007. He became remorseful of the actions they had took while working at the company. He says, "I think we were creating tools that were ripping apart the social fabric of society and how society works." He describes as the loss in civil discourse, no cooperation, the spreading of misinformation and mistruth. He's not just talking about like problems in America, like the Russian ads before the election, but it's become more of a global problem. Having misinformation or just spreading things that aren't true.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only Facebook that's causing these kind of things. It goes on, and he goes on and tells a story about a couple deadly incidents that happened in India a couple years ago. It all started with the WhatsApp forwarding claims that 4 visitors in a village were child lifters, people who kidnapped children for like a slave trade. The information spread.
Wait, I was gonna say who started this rumor?
So it was just like apparently somebody started on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And started a rumor that people were like stealing children.
Oh, out of that town.
Yeah, out of the town.
Okay.
So
sorry.
The information. No, that's okay. The information spread across the village, and many of the villagers thought it was best to take law into their own hands to protect their children.
Mm-hmm.
So a mob was started, and a search for the visitor began. So they started going around the town, and at the time there was 4 visitors that were there on the streets, and they saw a large crowd coming at them. And they tried to flee, but only 3 managed to get away, and 1 was taken by the mob, and they beat him to death.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the 3 that got away, eventually they got found later that day, and they killed them the same way. They beat them to death, too.
Oh, gosh.
So then the second incident happened, where another visitors who were staying with their grandmother. So they had lived there before, but they were gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back to visit their grandma, and while they were visiting their mother while they were working construction, and they were in their car when that mob, the town mob, stopped them, pulled them out of their car, and demanded that they produce ID to prove that they lived there. So only 1 was able to produce his proof that he lived in the area, but the other 3 didn't have any ID on them, and the mob basically beat them to death as well.
Shit.
Inflicting wounds, and then they even beat the grandmother. They didn't kill her, but they just beat her.
Damn.
So after the violence and the mayhem, it all turned out the warning that the children lifted was just a hoax.
Shit.
So it wasn't even real. So the police arrested like 19 individuals that started the violence.
Mm-hmm.
But they never found the origins of that WhatsApp message. So who sent it or anything.
Yeah. It could have been started anywhere around the world. So because of that, 4 people were dead. Old lady got beat up. All for a rumor.
All for a rumor that
one that they didn't validate or couldn't validate.
And the fact that it was on social media, like made it spread even quicker, you know.
Sure. It's like
to the point where it got people up in a frenzy.
Like a wildfire in the wind.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So there's other stories like that. Like there's a in Myanmar's the government there has barred a ultra national Buddhist monk, Ashin Werthro. He would publicly preach because he was inciting violence against the country's the Rohingya ethnic group.
Okay.
And he was basically this monk was calling for like an ethnic cleansing. The government basically banned him from speaking out. So to keep his voice heard, he turned to Facebook and he would post daily updates with false information about the ethnic group, and basically he'd try to get people to attack them, or if that group got attacked, he would be talking about how they were faking the attack so that people would have sympathy for the group.
Basically, this dickhead was getting his message out by social media.
Yeah, where they're at, Facebook is basically the internet. Like when you think of so when instead of like the internet where you can go to different web pages, they think a lot of people they're poor people, and when they get online, Facebook is basically the internet to these people. So when they see the site, it holds a lot of clout. So when they see it on Facebook, they're like, it has to be true,
Yeah, this is gospel here.
Yeah. So this has caused a lot of the Rohingya minority to be driven out of Bangladesh by the thousands.
Shit.
And all because of social media and like basically elevating some jerk off's message, hate speech or whatever.
Sure.
So, and then a lot of part of social media is like, it makes you question, like, are you just in an echo chamber when you're on it?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of polarization in our society. We've always had like relatives who we talk to at dinner, we talk about politics, it would get a little heated or whatever, but it would always blow over.
Yep.
We would still see each other every year and stuff like that. But it seems like now, because of like the way social media is, we become like so sensitive and we forget that other people have different opinions.
I know.
And it's and it's okay to have passionate discussions and still be civil, but that's the part that people forget, that you can still be civil and still not agree.
Just kind of to chime in on that, there's people that like both ways, like for even like the current administration. Some people like that I talk to, like, oh my god, I can't believe this person that I grew up with, they don't support the president, I'm not gonna be friends with them. It's like, but isn't that like your good friend? Like, I don't care anymore. And or the other way, I can't believe they support them. And it's like, but these are your friends. You guys should be able to have different opinions. We're supposed to have our own minds and think our own way. And some people can't handle that now. Like lots of people have said that I've talked to. I don't have Facebook anymore, but others have been like, this fucking guy he was my friend growing up, and now he's all a douchebag because of blah blah blah. He supports this, and it's like, so what?
Yeah,
why does that really affect you? Are you getting paid by some group that he's against? I don't get that.
So I was thinking that in the last year when I was on Facebook, I watched a lot of friends and family members. They no longer speak to each other. Yeah. Because of political differences. I've known a couple people who they're like, I don't talk to my dad, I don't talk to my brother anymore. Yeah. Because it's so polarized now.
It is.
It's as if Facebook taught us to stay within our own echo chamber and only listen to what we feel is true. Mm-hmm. It's given the people an idea that truth is determined by the amount of people that believe it. Mm-hmm. So like if you have a lot of people back, then it has to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
We shouldn't tolerate anybody's opinions.
Yeah, or you should only get your facts from this one place.
Yeah, one source.
This is the truth. I'm the only one that tells the truth. Yeah. Our network tells the truth.
Yeah, so it's kind of scary. Like in 2017. 48% of Americans get their news and current affair information from Facebook.
Shit. Fuck
And
yeah.
like I said, Facebook is a private company that can control the content that you see.
Mm-hmm.
So its main goal is to create profit. So if they feed you information that you want to hear, they cater to your taste. You're basically
it keeps you a customer, keeps their money coming in.
Yeah, it keeps their money coming in, but it also keeps you within the bubble where you don't see anybody else's opinion. You only hear your own, and you have it spoken back to you. You have the echo chamber.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's dangerous. It makes you like basically closed off from the world.
So it provides news sources that's one agenda, and it basically becomes propaganda that you will only agree with.
Mm-hmm. That's dangerous.
And all that just to sell you crap. So, and when they do sell you crap, these are things that I've heard, like rumors where like they have Facebook or Facebook listens to you on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've had I don't know if you've had incidents, but I know you didn't have Facebook for a while, but I've had incidents where me and my wife would talk about stuff, or like hey, we want to get a new blender or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like we'll get like blender ads for blenders on our Facebook feed, but we didn't put anything in. We didn't like type.
You didn't search anything in about blenders.
Yeah, we didn't search anything. So I have a story here. In 2016, a couple believed that Facebook was listening to their conversations, so they decided to test their theory. So they uploaded a YouTube video where they talked about buying a cat food while browsing Facebook on their phones. So you can watch the video. They'll get on the phone and they'll open up Facebook, but they'll talk about buying cat food or needing cat food. The thing is, they don't even have a cat.
Sure.
Nor do they have Google any kind of information on cats or feeding cats.
Okay.
They claim that they've never seen advertisements about cat food before.
Mm-hmm.
They did this little test.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly after their fake conversations about needing cat food, an advertisement for Hill's Pet Nutrition appeared on their timeline. So,
how convenient.
But experts say we give enough information.
Yeah, they can deduce it.
So they don't really listen to the conversations. But like I said, it's like I know I've had conversations with my wife, and things have popped up with stuff that I didn't really care about before. I never Googled and never. And a lot of people think that too. A lot of people say that they've had that same experience.
Well, didn't Facebook say that they were getting information from Android? They were listening to their conversations, like Android users?
I think that's how they
that did happen. That did come out a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
When after everything was coming out, I think it was like a month or two ago. I read that from Android users, they were listening to their conversations and like basically fucking your privacy is gone. Yeah, to run ads against what you might need or whatever you were talking about.
Which I can see both sides, because like it is kind of nice to have advertisements that are catered to you, because like I don't want advertisements for things that I don't really care about. Because there's been times I've been on Facebook and the advertisement will come up on things that I was like, I might want to buy that, and I'll buy it. But it's kind of creepy knowing that someone's like listening to you all the time and just like throwing stuff at you, kind of manipulating you into getting buying the things that you really don't need, but you just want.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to mitigate that people don't want to do. People don't want to give up Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. They don't want to use apps that are more secure, like texting apps. Those can be all hacked, right? Mm-hmm. You can text and people talk about certain things, or send nudes across. Look, remember all those stars, those women. They got all the cloud. Google's cloud got, or
what wasn't it like
Apple's
Apple's cloud? Yeah,
they got hacked. I mean, those are things that you shouldn't be using or doing. I mean, if you decide to take a picture, don't back up anything to the cloud. I mean, that's not yours anymore. And they tell you that if you use that's why they want you to use their cloud-based services, because it belongs to them, the company, whichever company you use it. there's a lot of things that you could do to mitigate this, and a lot of people don't want to do it. A lot of people are like, I don't talk about anything bad anyway, so what do I care? Until it affects them.
Yeah, until it's something like their credit card number or something.
Yeah, or somebody catfishes them. Somebody makes an account in the name. I've had people tell me that, like, hey, like I had a friend tell me that one of his friends contacted him and said, hey, I didn't know you had another 2 accounts on Facebook, and he was like, what are you talking about? It's like somebody else has your name, has pictures of you, like stuff from your past and stuff on there. They basically made an account in his name. Somebody else was running it, and it took him a little while to get it shut down. Get it shut down. Letting them know that he was not. I'm that name, but that's not my account. Stuff like that. It's just, that's not cool. And people will do it for their advantage, to make money or something, or to ruin people.
Yeah, and it makes it creepy. Like it
does.
That's kind of why I kind of stopped. And it sucks because for the podcast, I mean, we have to have a Facebook. You have to have.
We have to have these accounts and stuff like that.
Social media.
I know. But nothing personal, nothing for my my family or my life or my pictures of me. I mean, I don't want to do that, and it makes me sound like a hermit. But like you said, there's a lot of things though that could harm you just by you giving up your own information. You're voluntarily giving up your data. You're giving up pictures of what you ate, what you drank. Then people can deduce that you're some type of lush. You like this type of stuff.
You're just a drunk.
Yeah, I know, right? Every night, this woman posts that she's having a glass of wine.
A glass of wine, yeah.
Yeah, and this goes and they could use it for whatever services. Even insurance companies, they'd be like, "Oh, but we collect enough data that we see that you drink a glass of wine every day, and that means having this much wine means that it could contribute to you getting cancer or
getting
diabetes,
in a car accident, yeah,
or diabetes. So we're not going to cover you for these things because we have, after all this data that we collected, we see that you're at high risk." All that's possible. People like maybe 10 years ago laughed at that or thought that was stupid, but it's all coming to fruition now.
Yeah, people give up their information pretty freely now, and it's kind of scary how easily they'll give it up.
Yeah, it's some of it. Like I said, when I used to have it, I found out that people were doing it a lot, and they would give up their information. And like I said, I would argue with people. I'm not gonna lie, like certain political things, and I started thinking, why the fuck do I care what anyone else thinks? What good is it gonna do to me if they don't vote the way I want, or if they don't see that this proposition gets passed or whatever? It's like, really, do I really give a fuck? Like, and I just started to stop not caring. Like this, I'm not getting paid. Facebook's not paying me to promote this or that.
Yeah,
like I don't really care. I can't really care about that stuff.
Another thing I remember happening is a lot of people would like post themselves going on vacation or would say stuff that they're going somewhere, that they're going to be gone from their house. And I remember a lot of people would get broken into.
Yeah, they get robbed
because they knew they were gone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to Hawaii. I just left for Hawaii, and you're taking pictures on the plane.
Yeah,
like,
or so
you're just inviting people.
Yeah, people in here would know that your house is pretty much empty for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a lot of people got when people first did that, they would early in the social media thing, people would
get robbed.
Yeah, they would get robbed.
Yeah, that's. I mean, in some aspects, it's cool. Like you said, you can talk to you can meet new friends. I've met new people, and it's cool. Like, hey, they have the same interests I like. Maybe I like watching Mamma Mia, that movie, and and other people like, we can be on a board and we can all talk about it, and we can make some new friends. But you can also meet a lot of creeps too, or weirdos and shit like that. I mean, men, women, everything. There's a lot of fucked up people out there, and that's just another platform for them to do their damage. It's tough, man. I mean, we didn't grow up with it, so I think for me, I could walk away from it.
But yeah, I've slowly been walking away from it. It's pretty addicting for me. It was like
it is.
I always liked to post stuff, but I never really posted anything really personal. Like I would just post a couple like pictures of whatever I had built or things like that, but nothing. Some of the family, so that But I don't really just go out. I never really went out and searched for friends on there. So if I never went out to, never added people unless like I really knew them.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody came in, I would, and I didn't really know them that well, I would never like friend them.
Yeah. You know, another thing I was just thinking of is in your story earlier, you know, about your store. They used Facebook to get the guy, you know, find out who he was. So they get, I mean, that was one way it worked. But I think those stories are too far and in between.
Yeah. So what I have is like, the big question, I guess, is, I mean, should we use it? I mean, it's still, I think it's good and I think it's bad. But one thing, when I was doing research and stuff, like back in 2010, a news reporter asked Steve Jobs if his kids loved the iPad, and Steve Jobs responded was they haven't used it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that we limit how much technology our kids use at home.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
You know, that's what he said, and that's when I kind of sat in the back of my mind until I started, you know, looking up these
why would that
stories.
be? Yeah, why would he say that?
And I also noticed that many of the founders of Facebook and a lot of the old people who worked there, they said that they won't use the site that they created. They won't use it because they know it manipulates them.
Sure. Yeah, they know what it's doing.
Because even like a lot of they say that it is basically Facebook and other social media sites, they program you to act a certain way. So you don't have any control. It controls you.
I mean, we see that happening every day. And again, you know, like kids are doing it younger and younger. They're getting more involved in these sites, and then they can't. You know, you couldn't take it away. You can't take it with their phones. I mean, how often have you been like, fucking just watching a show, and maybe it goes to a commercial, or maybe you know you load up Netflix and it's loading. You'll pull out your phone just to keep yourself entertained until the loading's done.
Yeah,
you know,
for like a couple seconds.
Yeah,
wait that long. You have to be on your phone.
You have to be on your phone to do something else. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I listen to podcasts. I hope people like our podcast, but I listen to other ones. And your phone's a good device to have to just download or stream them. You know, it's very advantageous. I mean, I remember like 10 years ago. You know, you remember like when there were iPods and you know all type of
yeah, you had
players
to have
like
like
that.
a separate device.
You had to have a device and you had to plug it into your computer, and then you had to load the music on there, and it was the whole thing. And then when they said, hey, it just goes straight to your device, you can just listen there. Audible books, you can just listen straight from there. You know, Kindle books, you just read from there. You just knocked all these things out, you know, in one punch on one device, and it just makes it easier. So then it makes it even harder for you to detach. Like nobody's going to go back and I think I'll start, you know, getting the newspaper, you know, subscribing to the newspaper. You know, I'm not going to go and, you know, get magazine subscriptions, you know.
Well, yeah, it's like a necessary evil. Because I mean, it's hard not to use it because it's there, it's easy to access, and there's a lot of information out there. But I think a lot of it's just with moderation. You gotta, like, you know, you can't just look at one site for your news. You gotta kind of search around with different opinions and different ideas, and you can't just use it to, you know, it shouldn't be something that makes you depend on where you feel like if you don't have it, that
you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go freak out.
Nuts, yeah.
So one thing,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just no. Finish your thought.
So I was just saying, it's like, but when I got off Facebook, when I stopped using it, I felt that I was less depressed.
Oh, really?
You know, and because I really don't look at people's posts anymore. I just kind of every once in a while I do it, but I don't do it as much as I did before. And I felt that I was less depressed because I wasn't watching other people living this filtered lifestyle where you only see the good and the amazing things that they do. Yeah, they never show. You know, you never hear about the sucky stuff. You never hear about.
Yeah. You know, I got fired today. You know.
Yeah, you never hear about that stuff. It's always covered up, and they only show, you know, everybody looks beautiful because they're all filtered up, and they only, you know, the fat people only show their heads.
Yeah, exactly. And their face shots, their facials, not the good facials either.
I know you're fat. I know you're fat, girl, because you're only taking pictures of your face.
I know. never their body, not even their shoulders. It's all just chin and up.
It's just like like above the chin and just the eyes and stuff.
Yeah. And they're just wearing glasses and it's like, what the fuck is this?
But yeah, I found it that since I'm no longer seeing that stuff anymore, that, you know, I don't think about it anymore. It's like, focus on what's going on in my life and not what's going on in other people's lives.
But it's hard. I mean, but again, like I was telling you, we didn't grow up with that, so I think we could give it up easier.
Yeah, like I see my nephews and my
They
kids,
depend on it.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
Like if they come over, they'll ask me, it's like, hey, do you have your tablet? Do you have
Yeah.
computer? Can I get
on
phone?
this? Yeah.
And you're like, dude, let's go outside. Let's go through,
Yeah, let's go shoot some hoops or something, or
some
go
hoops or
go,
just-
go
yeah.
explore. You're a kid. Let's go
Yeah.
do stuff that kids should do. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like an old folk. Well, we used to do that. We used to do that. Remember, we're outside all the time playing. We didn't have those devices. Maybe we would be the same way. I'm pretty sure we'd probably be the same way. As all the kids who are now.
Well, yeah, it's just like the video games.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times
we
we
play the
spend
shit out of them.
hours on video games.
We'd
and,
play all afternoon.
And our parents are like, you need to go outside. And we're like, oh, man, I need to beat this level.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll be out there in like 20 minutes, and another 4 hours would go by. You wouldn't even go take a shit or anything because you're playing.
You're all backed
your body would shut down every other function so that you could, your fingers and your brain could figure out how to get past that level. Everything else fucking came in second. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's and it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes the social media sounds good, but like how we've talked about religion, it can also be used for people's own agenda and their platforms, and I would agree. I would say it's almost like a new digital religion that people people want to follow. They use for their own advantage, and this is their way to get their word out. It's tough, man. And don't get me wrong, like I said, a lot of things are cool. I mean, a lot of these people who make these apps are smart. You got to be intelligent to create things that people really want to use. And, like I said, Snapchat or Instagram and, even Facebook. I mean, a lot of intelligent people made these things. Yeah. But like you said, they also won't use them.
Yeah, and there's a reason. There's a reason why. So
my kids don't use this shit. They probably don't really talk about it, but nope. You guys use it. I'm going to fucking keep my kids away from this because this shit's fucked up.
So that it should make you wonder. Like, I mean, should I
should
be
make you
using
think
it?
twice. Yeah. But again, a lot of people, like when I've talked to people about privacy and stuff, they're like, "Well, I don't really care because I'm not talking about anything bad." And again, it's like until something happens, until your credit card gets stolen, then you have to fight the bank. Mm-hmm. It's not a good thing. But again, we're not here to preach to anybody. We're just here to give the truth. But I will tell you, like for me, like I was telling you, like how a lot of people use Facebook to just get their news. Like for me, I subscribe to many outlets. I subscribe across the whole spectrum. I don't want just one type of news stories coming to me. I want everything. I want to hear.
I like to hear all sides.
Exactly. And even if I don't agree with them, I'll still read them. It's good to hear what other people have to say. Throws another perspective. You might think, oh shit, that makes sense.
At least I can understand why people think the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a different idea of because I mean we all have our different lifestyles, we all have our different incomes, and I can understand why somebody living in who's poor and needs certain things to survive. I can understand why they would cling on to a certain ideology compared to
compared to what maybe the one I like.
Yeah.
So for me, that like I said, that's why I do that. I listen to a lot of different ranges of things. Even if I don't like them, I still listen. I want to hear what they have to say. I know a lot of people won't do that. They like what they like, whether it's like a certain podcast, a certain news outlet, whatever, a certain whatever, like you said, it's not just Facebook, but it's like I said, I know people who like listen to a certain like news outlet because it gives them the truth. All the rest are fake. And it's like, but you're only listening to one side. How do you know that side's not lying to you? They've already gotten their mind, so then they're hooked. So it's not my job anymore to give a fuck what other people think. Those days are over, man. I don't have enough energy for that.
I don't have any more energy too, so we should probably just end that podcast.
Yeah, let's fucking end it. Sorry, guys. Fuck you all. We can't change your mind. If you listen to us, listen to us. But we would really love it if you did.
We would. All right. So it's the end. We're coming to the end now. So if you guys have a good morning, evening, or night, and we'll see you next week. Until then, stay strange.
Bye, y'all.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.